Yes, Kritika, start.
Good evening to everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. Namaste, everyone. Myself, Kritika Goel, and I welcome you all to this online Adyar Day celebration of Indian section of the Theosophical Society. As you all know, in today's celebration, we have our President Indian section, Brother Pradeep Gohil, and 3 speakers to talk on the topic, Theosophy and Truth. I welcome Brother Gohil and all the speakers of the day. Good to see so many people joining the celebration online. Okay, so we'll start with the universal invocation by Brother Pradeep Gohil. So I request Brother Pradeep for the universal invocation, followed by a short introduction on the Adyar Day. Over to you, sir.
I request Pradeep ji to maybe mute everybody so that we don't get background noise. Mute everyone. I will request everyone your thoughts to higher planes. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he's also one with every other. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, I welcome you all with greetings and good wishes on behalf of the Indian section. I'm very happy that the Indian section is active in celebrating the Adyar Day today, even in the midst of a long pandemic, which hopefully now is coming to an end. We have learned new ways of continuing with our work and celebrating the special days. The e-platform is one such method that has been used. Brother Pradeep Mahapatra has mastered the art and science of conducting very regular Zoom meetings. He is officially the coordinator of all Indian section activities that will take place on this platform. I thank him for giving his time and effort in doing this work for the Indian section. The members of the Theosophical Society celebrate 17th February as Adyar Day. Let me take you in nostalgia to the wonderful events that had occurred at Adyar during the early founding days. Originally, 17th February was known as Olcott Day, the day when one of the 2 founders of our society passed to higher planes in 1907. Every year after that, members gathered at the place where he was cremated, saying a few words and offering flowers to the memorial built in his honor. By 1916, the tradition changed and became centered around the statue of Madame Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott that now stands in the headquarters hall at Adyar. They gathered every year at 7:10 a.m. in the headquarters hall and stood in a large semicircle in front of the small recessed section in which are kept the statues of our founders. At 17:17 a.m., the time of Olcott's last breath, the current president of the TS or his representative would speak, followed by persons from various religions. Finally, everyone silently line up to offer flowers and give thanks. You may now ask as to how the Olcott Day became Adyar Day. The process began with Brother Fritz Kunz, the husband of the then American section president Dora Kunz. When he returned to the US after an extended stay at Adyar, he conceived of the Adyar Fund in 1922 after convincing the TS members in the US about the importance of Adyar. An Adyar committee was formed to raise funds in the US for construction of buildings at Adyar. The first Adyar Day was celebrated 99 years ago on 17th February 1923 in USA. Dr. Annie Besant, the then president, officially declared February 17 as Adyar Day in 1926. The importance of 17th February is not just for the day Colonel Olcott passed away. It was also the day in 1986 when J.Krishnamurti passed away. Charles W. Leadbeater was born on the same day in 1854. You can now see why 17th February is called Adyar Day and celebrated in the Theosophical world. Adyar is often compared as a sun and all the sections revolving around it as planets. What better day than 17th February, the Adyar Day, for the realization of the real truth, oneness of life, unity, and brotherhood, and in the process, change our lives.
Thank you so much, Brother Gohil, for highlighting the importance of the day. Now let us start the topic of the day, Theosophy and Truth. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 3 speakers for the topic. Our first speaker is Sister Pooja Gole, who will speak about the role of Colonel Olcott. Sister Pooja Gole is a member of the Theosophical Society, Dhantoli Lodge, Nagpur. She is a phonics teacher in Vedantu Innovations Private Limited, who teaches kids from 4 to 7 years of age. She holds a master's degree in human resource development. She was one of the core members in Bal Sanskar Shibir, held under the able guidance of Brother Milind Joshi, T.S. Dhantoli Nagpur in 2018. I request Sister Pooja to deliver her speech. Over to you, Sister Pooja. You are not audible. No. Still not audible. Okay. till the time she comes. It was, for me, it is first time I am attending the Adyar Day. So it was really informative and I got to know so new things.
So if she is not readily available, we can request Shreeyashi if she is
Yes,
available.
sure, sir. Okay. So I invite Sister Shreeyashi Ojha, who will speak about the role of C.W. Leadbeater and G.Bruno.
Just a second. I've been out. I'm so sorry. Just give me a minute so that I can settle, please.
No, Pooja returned. You ask Pooja whether she is okay.
Okay. Sister Pooja, are you fine with your mic now?
Kindly unmute yourself, Pooja.
Yes. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, finally.
Great. I don't know why it was not working. Why was it not working? Okay. So yeah, now I can start. Okay, so thank you all of you. Thank you to all the Theosophical individuals for making me a part of this existence. I'm really fortunate to be a part here. So thank you Mahapatra sir and Gohil sir for this opportunity and everybody who helped execute this program. So today on 17th February, we are gathered here in the memory of our beloved masters. On this day, some lives began and some left their physical body, like they ended on this material world, in this material world. And for several other events that happened, we remember this day as Adyar Day. As Gohil sir already told so many things about like this day, Adyar Day. Colonel Henry C. Olcott, Charles Webster Leadbeater, G.Bruno, J.Krishnamurti are some of the main pillars of our theosophy. So today, I am going to talk about the role of Colonel Olcott in theosophy. Let us know about Colonel H.S. Olcott and his journey of life and work in theosophy. Colonel Henry Steele Olcott was an American military officer, journalist, lawyer, Freemason, and the co-founder and the first president of Theosophical Society. He was born, Olcott was the first well-known American of European ancestry to make a formal conversion to Buddhism. His subsequent actions as president of Theosophical Society helped create a renaissance in the study of Buddhism. He was a major revivalist of Buddhism in Sri Lanka and he's still honored there for his efforts. He was born on 2nd August 1832 in Orange, New Jersey. Around his late, now we'll work on we'll see his life, how and what he did there. So around his late teens, in the ending of 1840s, in Elmhurst, Ohio, he was introduced to spiritualism by some of his relatives. So during this period, he became interested in the studies of psychology, hypnotism, psychometry, and mesmerism. Around 1851, he had studied agriculture in a scientific way. At the age of 23, he gained international fame for his research work on a model farm in New York. He authored a book, Sorghum and Imphi, about his research on sugar, jawar, bajra. Due to his excellence, this was adapted as a textbook in many schools. Due to his performance in the army, like in the same year, 1851, when the war broke between North and South America, he was promoted, and from then he was referred to colonel for the rest of his life. Everybody respected him and appreciated his work. In 1860, from 1851, we'll move on to 1860, he was married to Mary Apley Morgan, and for around 10 years, he worked as a lawyer from 1868 to 1878. And also he worked in the field of insurance. In 1874, it was when the first Western text on afterlife was published. People from the Other World. This is one of his work. So in middle, I'm going to mention his work, like the books. So it was the first Western text on afterlife, people from other world. There he met Madame Blavatsky and became acquainted with her. And that's how he got into Theosophy. While writing all diary leaves, again his work, in 1875, he experienced a divine feel. He saw Gurudev, Kshatriya Siddha Purush of Maurya dynasty. And the conversation with him made him aware of his work in this life. He had strong faith in him. He received Feta as a reward, and it can still be seen in the archives at Adyar. On 17th November 1875, a Russian lady, Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, ma'am, and American Colonel Olcott, Colonel Olcott, founded the Theosophical Society with the idea of forming a team for the propagation of spiritual knowledge. In around 1876, he faced many difficulties in I think US. There were some events in US because of which his work was not properly recognized, properly respected. But his work, after all, it was for the masters. So the difficulties had to pass some time ago. In 1879, he reached Mumbai and stayed there for 3 years. He was overjoyed to be on the land of Gurudev. Like he was really happy. In 1882, he established the main branch of Adyar, Madras. Now, in October 1879, he started a magazine called Theosophist. It has been going on ever since. In the same year, along with the annual conference, he organized an exhibition of Hindi art and crafts. This is the first industrial exhibition in India. So he really made some significant changes and some significant new things he brought into the routine. He became Buddhist in 1880. He traveled to Sri Lanka for the first time, where he formally converted to Buddhism. In 1881, while he was in Sihaldev, sorry for the name, he saw missionaries preaching Christianity there. And with the help of Buddhists, he established schools for education of Buddhists and incorporated the teachings of Buddhism into the curriculum. For this, he himself wrote a small book called Buddhist Catechism. It's a Buddhist instruction manual of question and answers. And he also got the consent of Buddhist monks. And thus, 205 schools and 3 colleges were functioning under him. And then several others joined and continued the journey from other countries. In 1885, he also set up 4 free schools for the literacy of Harijan, that is children of God, from Madras, known as Pancham. These schools were run by the Theosophical Society and then handed over to the government. In 1885, while traveling, he collected many books on spirituality, Vedanta, yoga, medicine, literature, etc. And then he established the library in 1886 in Adyar under the name Oriental Institute. Currently, there are more than 10,000 books on palm leaves. That means the number of books, the content is a lot. That means so much knowledge. And research and publishing work carried out there in the library. So it's the work started there. In 1885, the same year, he assisted in designing the Buddhist flag and also got permission from the state to lay the flag on his resting place. Gradually, Theosophy started spreading its divine power. By the time he was retired, Theosophy had entered about 13 countries. Wow. Again, in 1883, he realized that he had the power to cure diseases with the help of hypnosis and mesmerism. These things he learned at his late teens, and then gradually he understood the use, and then he implemented. Olcott, Colonel Olcott, was the president of Theosophical Society until his death on February 17, 1907. His devotion, there is an incident here I'm going to mention. Colonel Henry Steele Olcott had a divine experience of meeting the master. I already mentioned. He was so mesmerized by that. I read that book. Even I felt so happy after reading the text. I could really feel the happiness, and he has amazingly portrayed his experience in that text. It is from the book Thoransa Alpa Parichaya. Like there was a part where he was after the event when he had, like I told you, he had an experience where master visited him, and then while after the conversation, while he was going back, when the master was going back, Colonel Olcott was thinking something, and he smiled. Like he was thinking, and the master turned back and smiled. It was so innocently explained in the text. Even I was really happy about reading that. So this incident made his determination firm for the work of Theosophical Society. And no matter how many crises or difficult situations came, his unwavering self-confidence and firm faith in Gurudev was rooted in his heart. As we say, everybody passes through some kind of test on this or the other day. Colonel Olcott was no different in the sense of receiving a test. Even he had to face, and he had to go through a lot, even when he was the chosen one, but even he had to go through a lot for becoming the one. So his test was the moral test. Explained in the text, Thoransa Alpa Parichaya, he went through an occult experience where he really had some overwhelming experience about some rain. He was not able to accept it because it felt total unreal for him. So at that time, even for him, it was not decodable. But with his willpower, determination, devotion, and mainly truth, that what we are discussing about, he went through it. It was an indeed bigger picture, which was ununderstandable to many then and now. In 1907, Feb 17, after his death, Dr. Annie Besant was made president of Theosophical Society, and from there, another legendary phase of Theosophy began. There is no ending here in Theosophy, but always a beginning, as they stay here with us always. So I thank you. Here, I complete my part of the chain. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Pooja. And indeed, the delivery of speech by you was very informative, and we got to know so many things about Colonel Olcott. So moving on, we have our next speaker, Sister Shreeyashi Ojha, who will speak about the role of C.W. Leadbeater and G.Bruno. Sister Shreeyashi Ojha is born in a Hindu Brahmin family. Her father is a bureaucrat, and so she has had the opportunity to mingle with different cultures, owing to which she developed interest in multiculturalism and spirituality. Since childhood, she has won many awards. Merely at the age of 4, she was awarded the first position for Gita chanting organized by Chinmay Mission. In the same year, she was also awarded a certificate on social service by HelpAge India for creating awareness and assisting in raising funds for the care of the elderly, irrespective of race, religion, caste, or creed, and a certificate by the Indian Leprosy Foundation in appreciation for participation in All Indian Leprosy Eradication Drive. Sister Shreeyashi joined the Theosophical Society of India in March 2021. She was one of the participants in the second youth program on the theme Truth, Beauty, and Goodness. Recently, she co-hosted the special English lecture by Brother Pradeep Gohil, President of the Indian Sec.TS. She is an ardent disciple of the tenets of Theosophical Society, and she believes in the motto Satyat Nasti Parodharma. She strives to propagate and popularize the message of the Theosophical Society amongst the youth. I welcome Sister Shreeyashi to deliver her talk. Over to you, Sister Shreeyashi.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. Brothers and sisters, I welcome you all to celebrate together the Adyar Day 2022. Before I begin with my discussion on Theosophy and Truth, the role of C.W. Leadbeater and G.Bruno, I would like to throw some light on the events of this day and its significance for us as the members of the Theosophical Society. The magnanimity of February 17th lies in the fact that it was not only the day Colonel Olcott, one of our founding fathers, was laid to rest, but also the day G.Bruno, a student of the Pythagoras, was burnt at the stake, and the day C.W. Leadbeater was born. Earlier, February 17th was celebrated as Olcott Day until 1923, when the first unofficial celebration of Adyar Day took place in the US. According to an article published in 1928, this change was propagated by Fritz Kunz, a member of the Theosophical Society, whose extended stay at Adyar, India, made him realize that Adyar is the mother of us all, and her claims come first. Later, in 1925, Mrs. Annie Besant officially declared February 17th as Adyar Day. February 17th is a day to remember and pray gratitude to those who walked before us, who dedicated their lives to the Theosophical Society, and who gave us the very special gift of Adyar.
Shreeyashi, unmute yourself.
Sister Shreeyashi.
Unmute your net is also poor. It is Zoom is noting.
I would suggest you to turn off your video.
Okay, I will. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Am I clear?
Yes.
Should I begin from the, should I begin again?
Your net is weak. Network is low. Can you change it?
Yes,
I paused for a moment. Can you change that network? It is showing red.
Just a second, sir. Just a second. Yes, sir. Just a second. Sir, just give me 5 minutes, please.
Zoom is telling a network is very low, so voice is not clear. Okay.
So, just a second. Could you give me 5 minutes, sir? I'm so sorry, sir.
Till then, we can welcome the next speaker.
So we are doing next speaker.
Okay. So is our next speaker ready?
Yes. He is all.
Okay. So I welcome our next speaker, Brother Dakshinamurti, who will speak on the role of J.Krishnamurti. Brother Dakshinamurti is a member of the Indian section of the Theosophical Society since 1980. He is a national lecturer, Indian section of the TS, and Vice President, KTF Bangalore. By profession, he is from legal fraternity. He has been a district judge, Karnataka Judicial Service, and a secretary to government in the Department of Parliamentary Affairs and Legislation. And he retired from government services in 2013. I now request Brother Dakshinamurti to deliver his speech. Over to you, Brother Dakshinamurti. Sir, kindly unmute. It's still muted.
Unmute, sir.
Click on the microphone. Sir, there must be a mute or unmute button over there on the left of your screen. Bottom left.
Bottom left. सर एकदम नीचे है लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पर.
So there is a button, एक mic बना होगा, then there will be a camera, तो mic वाले पे you have to click.
Now I have given signal to unmute. Can you do it? Yes.
So, is it any help now?
Yes.
Yes.
You are here. Thank you. Yeah. Brother Mahapatra was actually mentioning that the new technology has been of very much use to us, very convenient, and equally it is this risky. That's it. Sometimes it stops speakers from speaking and makes others speak also. That's it. Anyway, thank you for that introduction, Mrs. Gohil. And good evening, brother, ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered here today, this evening, to memorialize the contributions to the cause of theosophy and truth by three of our revered brethren, in whose memory this day each year is being observed as the Adyar Day. So we have heard luminous talks by the president of the section, Brother Pradeep Gohil, and also Sister Pooja Gole on the role of Colonel Olcott. Shreeyashi Ojha, we are expecting to get her on board again. And it is my turn now to speak on the role of Reverend J. Krishnamurti in relation to theosophy and truth. Well, I decided to found my talk on two basic reflections that are of significance to my topic. What is the justification for us to call ourselves theosophists? Is it because we are admitted to the membership of the Theosophical Society, or because we have put our whole faith in the objectives of the Theosophical Society as an institution? So let us give ourselves this small test. The first object speaks of the universal brotherhood of man. So we do abide and also honor this catchphrase, but why? If our answer is yes for either or both, then take it, brethren, we are ardent theosophists, but with a hollow mind, an unoccupied mind, an empty mind. So JK puts us to another test, that is on our perception of brotherhood. The truth being that the other man is yourself. Let us follow. The truth being that the other man is yourself. JK seeks to judge. If one has an idea of a separate you, then it is not truth, but only an illusion. And how can this be justified? First of all, truth being the what is at any given point of time and to any given state of mind, in an ever-changing world, theosophy per se is not truth. It is a quest for truth. We all know that, we have realized it. In a given situation and in respect of a given person, the concept of what is could differ owing to the condition of one's mind, rather the conditioning of one's mind. And in such a conditioned state of mind, neither theosophy nor truth can be known. So JK puts it that the universal brotherhood of mankind is not an ideal to be achieved, but a truth to be pursued. We are rather contemplating on the contribution of J. Krishnamurti to theosophy and truth. So I would continue. Too much of our, is not an ideal to be achieved, but a truth to be pursued. So, as theosophists, we are seeking after truth with a learning mind rather than a free mind. This much for the foundation. Now let us get to brass tacks. As we have just seen, Theosophy is a movement in pursuit of truth. There is no religion higher than truth is the axiom of Theosophy. Why this comparison to religion? Because even as religion enters our investigation as a typical of authority, it is an authority at enforcing virtuous conduct on the basis of faith and belief. Now, does faith or belief in religion signify the truth? Does faith or religion signify the truth? Not invariably. May or may not be, because prophecies are but religious convictions in combination with doubts about how one should conduct in public life. Religion is characterized by a set of beliefs or a system of faith to be consulted in times of conflicts in the human mind. So, in any conditioned society, religion by itself cannot bind an individual or social conduct. Religion too is not order per se. Just as Theosophy is not truth per se, religion too is not order per se, it is but the quest for order, that is the path to virtuous conduct. That's it. So, besides, there is other point, that is of multiple religions. Religion is based on prophecies, that is revelations of a prophet for the following of believers, right? So, how do we proceed next? History has accounted for multiple religions, each with their own religious heads and dogmas. Each religion is founded by a prophet who lays down the codes of belief and systems of faith for observation by his followers, by following. The point is, religiosity has adversely, the religiosity has universally resulted in dogmas world over. That is resulting in religious conflicts and communal disturbances without leaving scope for evolution of self-realization. The point is there. So what does this suggest then? It suggests Theosophy considers religiosity beyond the squabbles of religious diversity. It is not stopping at religion, but it goes beyond the squabbles of religious diversity. It extols that eternal truths are to be found beyond all religions and beyond all illusions. It does not stop at faith or belief. That is at the heart of religion. At the heart of the religion lies only faith and belief. So, in this sense, Theosophy is not just religiosity, but it goes much beyond. This is the import of the precision and legitimacy of the Theosophical Society's catchword. There is no religion higher than truth. The axiom posits a model of wisdom religion attainable by self-realization, devoid of conditioning by factors peculiar to phenomenal life or living. So its emphasis on truth, that is, the direct perception free from interference of the moral fiber or conditioning of the observer. For Theosophy, Truth is meant not simply an accurate description or a correct idea of a correct idea or fact, but something that comes into existence when individual consciousness, individual conscience perceives the what is without any distortion from things known. So it is self-realization. That is what occurs to our mind in a given situation and in a given state of things. What is true to my belief? What is true to my heart? That is the test of. So this, however, should not leave scope for conjectures, because we seem to be telling always that theosophy is ahead of religion. But let it not be considered that there is scope for conjectures, that the theosophical axiom, there is no religion higher than truth, is meant that contending against religion, or in any sense that theosophy is seeking to condemn or belittle religion or religiosity. So it only seeks to explain that the character of religion too is not faith or belief per se, but is again a quest for bringing about virtue in social conduct. So this again is not an ideal, but an order to be set up, to be restored or set up. Virtue or order that religions seek to enforce cannot stop at adopting virtue, but should work to bring about a state of order which includes, this is the concept of J.K., his concept is the contribution to the concept of truth that he gives. So it should work out to bring about a state of order which includes peace, love, joy, happiness, beauty, and non-violence within one's consciousness, within one's consciousness. I think I am still abiding by time. So let me add a few more points. Now, in this context, Radhaji's assessment of JK is noteworthy. According to her, JK knew many things in their detail and also in principle, which, however, he could not communicate to the people. So we are we are seeing a level of consciousness that is beyond one's reasonable apprehensions that it is. That was the consciousness of JK. So in the years around 1929 to 33, there arose difficulties in the TS because some core theosophists, according to Radhaji, at the time knew neither. I am a little bit hesitation, I must tell. This is Radhaji's word. Radhaji at that time found that neither what theosophy was, that is the core theosophists at the time, did not really know what theosophy was, nor what JK was talking about. He was a so Radhaji has also observed that in the TS, members were going along a line which Krishnaji would consider fallacious. Naturally, any confusion of the superficial with the essential is bound to bring about illusions and conflict. So Radhaji could see that what Krishnaji rebelled against was not the essence of theosophy, but the tendency towards encrustation, that is, treating theosophy not as an inquiry which one accepts, but as had happened in other religions. So what Radhaji said about JK's state of consciousness very well matches this context. She has said that JK had seen the danger of religious dogmatism, and so did he revolt against that, wanting to bring back the quest for what he called a religious mind, neither a Christian mind, nor a Hindu mind, nor any other religion. So she maintained that instead of regarding theosophy as the essence of wisdom, the loyalists of the times were presenting it as a sect of crystallized beliefs or ideas. This tendency at crystallization was one to which one J.K. was opposed. So she also says J.K. repudiated all of such tendencies. J.K. did not like the way in which the theosophical efforts were progressing. And as he knew what truth is and what truth is not, Radhaji says he knew what is truth and what is not truth in a way better than any. So there was also something what he said which suggested there is a whole world of meaning which one had to find out for oneself. That is the path of realization. See? So it only seeks explanation. It only seeks to explain the character of religion who is not faith per se. So now, to sum up, I think I am nearing my time. To sum up, the role of J.K. in the turf of theosophy and truth can be said to be an avant-garde, that is a groundbreaking research in the premise of truth, pronouncing that sensitivity of what is true and what is false. The sensitivity of what is true and what is false lies in that state of consciousness arrived at through self-knowledge. This was the point of stress in J.K.'s search for truth. So it should ultimately be a state of consciousness which is arrived at through self-knowledge. And so J.K. throughout his life endeavored to bring home his conviction that truth belonged to the field of the unknown. Truth belonged to the field of the unknown. Whatever we believe to be true by our experiences, we have gathered with a conditioned mind or within a conditioning circumstances, they are all known and they cannot be truth in reality. So the known being caught up in the conditioning of one's thinking brain or blind faith or screen of belief, they don't belong to the world of the unknown. So since theosophy, J.K. says, since theosophy is not a religion in true sense, truth as the highest religion demanded that eternal truths are to be found beyond all religions. A catchphrase again, you have to be found beyond all religions and beyond all forms. So J.K. dedicated his whole life in the quest for truth. That was the essence of theosophy. His splendid discovery, truth is a pathless land, intended that one has to find truth within oneself, and this called for thinking beyond the known, So Bishop Leadbeater's clairvoyant eye had precisely discovered J.K. even at his age of 14 years as the prospective messenger of truth to the world. It is human trait that people get carried away by superficial differences, and that makes them bug to opinions rather than the weight of truth. So J.K. had attained to that level of sensibility, that is the contribution of J.K. to both the concept, or I can't say a concept, both to the order of theosophy and to truth, that is the essence of theosophy. So, brethren, I think I have abided my time, and now I hasten to say in conclusion that J.K.'s contribution, the greatest contribution to theosophy and truth, is his conscientious message A truly theosophical life should lead us to think beyond the conditioning of the mind in order to arrive at and keep growing with the truth by a process of self-inquiry. Thank you for giving me this hearing and opportunity. Thank you, brethren, and hope you will pardon me for any lapses on my mind or reward till we meet again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Indeed, we all know the teachings of Brother J. Krishnamurti, but today we got a revision, and now it's time we keep it in mind that truth belongs to the field of the unknown. So with this, I invite our next speaker, Sister Shreeyashi Ojha. I believe that the issue of the internet.
She has the problem in video. She will speak in audio for some time.
Okay. Okay.
I'm so sorry, brothers and sisters.
But you are, Sister Shreeyashi, your audio is not clear.
Hello? Yeah, I'm audible now.
You are audible, but it's not clear.
It's not, I'm so sorry. The network is very poor out here. Mahapatra sir, what could I do? Please tell me.
Okay. If audio and video both are, so you do last attempt with your video, even if
Yes.
low poor, let us see.
Sir, the network is not here at all, and the reception is very bad. That is why I had requested you, sir. I'm really sorry, sir. I'm really sorry, sir. I'm apologetic for this.
The audio is fine now, so I think we can.
Yeah, is it okay now? Should I begin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, I welcome you all to celebrate together the Adyar Day 2022. Before I begin with a discussion on theosophy and truth, the role of C.W. Leadbeater and G.Bruno, I would like to throw some light on the events of this day and its significance for us as the members of the Theosophical Society. The magnanimity of February 17th, the fact that it is not only Colonel Olcott, one of our founding fathers, was laid to rest, but also the day G.Bruno, a student of the Pythagoras, was burnt at the stake, and the day C.W. Leadbeater was born. Earlier, February 17th was celebrated as Olcott Day until 1923, when the first unofficial celebration of Adyar Day took place at the US. According to an article published in 1928, this change had been initiated by Fritz Kunz, a member of the Theosophical Society, whose extended stay at Adyar, India, made him realize that Adyar is the mother of us all, and her claims come first. Later, in 1925, Mrs. Annie Besant officially declared February 17th as Adyar Day. February 17th is a day to remember and pay gratitude to those who walked before us, who dedicated their life to the Theosophical Society, and who gave us the very special gift of Adyar. The international headquarters is an anchor between the world that is and that ought to be. It is a sanctuary for all, and a cradle for those who desire to understand life and theosophy. Walking through its gates, you are introduced to a new realm, a realm of serenity and natural beauty, of simplicity and tranquility. It blossoms like a lotus, calm and poised amidst the muddy quagmire of a chaotic world. Adyar embodies the trinity of truth, beauty, and goodness, and stands at the provenance of the theosophical thought. Adyar, as an institution, as well as the members of the Theosophical Society, form the corporeal heritage, whereas the intangible heritage lies in the theosophical philosophy, which is realized through 1, the motto, and 2, the objects of the Theosophical Society. The motto of the Theosophical Society, that is, Satyat Nasti Paro Dharma, focuses on truth, Sat, and religion righteousness, Dharma. Sat and Dharma have always been the fundamentals of all religious notion. They are the sentinels of ethics and morality. But between the two, you must first realize Sat, truth, to understand Dharma, religion or righteousness. Truth is the key to all the locks of a spiritual mind. Truth forms the basis of life, and there is no expression of life higher than truth. There is no philosophy higher than truth. Neither is there any art nor science higher than truth. But the question remains, what is truth? To quote the Adi Parva from Mahabharata, truth is, Nasti Satya Samo Dharmo Nasyad Vidyate Param Nahi Tivrataram Kinchid Ritadihi Vidyate, which means that truth is the highest religion of all. There is nothing higher than truth. There is no greater sin in this world than untruth or lies. Thus, the Sanskrit word Sat, literally meaning everlasting, denotes truth. Truth can be understood as something that is formless but ever present and non malleable. G.Bruno, the Italian hermit and occultist, who was known as one of the most adventurous thinkers of the Renaissance, quotes, truth does not change because it is or is not believed by the majority. Truth is easily comprehensible, yet difficult to listen or accept. This is because truth is plain and simple, but it is not always what one wants to listen, accept, or feel. As per my belief, truth is the easiest hardship and the most unchallenging challenge. C.W. Leadbeater, a highly developed clairvoyant who unfolded and perfected his psychic faculties in an outline of Theosophy, quotes that there are three great truths which are absolute and cannot be lost. According to Leadbeater, the first great truth is that God exists and that He is good. He is the great life giver who dwells within us and without us, is undying and eternally beneficent. The second great truth is that man is immortal and his future is one whose glory and splendor have no limit. The third great truth is the divine law of absolute justice that rules the world, so that each man is in truth his own judge, the dispenser of glory and gloom for himself, the decreer of his life and his reward, and also his punishment. So, if we are to believe that truth is omniscient, omnipresent, everlasting, and absolute, we may conclude that truth is Brahman and Atman. Brahman, or the Absolute One, or the Supreme Being, or the God is the truth. He is the everlasting and eternally existing. Hence, the Vedas call him Sat Chit Anand. Sat for everlasting, Chit for full of knowledge, and Anand for the ocean of bliss that he is. The soul, that is Atman, is imperishable, and thus is also the truth. The body may one day cease to exist, but the soul is everlasting. Therefore, the soul is Sat Chit Anand. But because it is Anu or tiny, it is called Anu Sat, Anu Chit, Anu Anand. With reference to this, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita quotes, Vadanti Tatvat Vidastatvam Yagyan Madvayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagvaniti Shivadyate, which means that absolute truth is realized through three phases of understanding, namely Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Brahma, or the impersonal, all-pervasive spirit, also referred by some as God or the Absolute One. Paramatma, or the localized aspect of the Supreme within the heart of all creatures, which can also be understood as the soul or the conscience or the Anusat, Anuchit, Anu Anand, and Bhagwan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. This is the absolute truth that is divine and everlasting. However, in the world of illusion or Maya, truth is not as easy to comprehend as it seems. It is relative and differs from person to person. The truth here is based upon perception and situational reality. For instance, as kids, we played a game called the Chinese Whisper. In this game, a message was passed on from person to person by whispering it in the ears. Usually, by the end of the game, the original message was completely lost and became distorted. But If you asked any of the play, they would say that what they heard was the truth. Therefore, truth for each of them was different. Similarly, relative truth is based upon perception. What may be true for someone may not be true for another. This reminds me of an interesting story, famously called Blind Men and the Elephant. The earliest version of this story was found in the Buddhist text Khuddaka Nikaya. Broadly, the story goes as follows. A group of blind men heard that a strange animal called an elephant had been brought to the town, but none of them were aware of what it was. When the first person touched the he said that it was like a wall. The second one who touched the tusk said it was like a spear. The third person who touched the trunk claimed that an elephant was like a snake. The fourth one who touched its feet said that it was like a tree. The fifth one who touched its ears claimed that it was like a fan. And the sixth one who touched the tail said that it was like a rope. Thus, they began arguing about the elephant, and each insisted that he was right. A wise man happened to hear them argue and told them that they were all right, but each one was only telling a part of the truth and not the complete truth. Thus, the reality or the truth is perceived differently from diverse points of view, and that no single viewpoint complete truth. This story is widely used to of Anekantavad, under which the ultimate truth and reality are complex and have multiple aspects. Also, the theory is formed by the doctrine that states that all are conditional, holding good only in certain circumstances. The risk that reality is one, the wise men speak of it variously. If truth is as complicated as it seems, then how does one distinguish between relative truth and absolute truth? And most importantly, how does one unravel the complete truth? With reference to this, J.Krishnamurti quotes, truth being limitless, unconditional, unapproachable by any path whatsoever, cannot be organized. Moreover, he refers to truth as a pathless land. To quote him, truth is a pathless land, and you cannot approach it by any path whatsoever, by any religion, or by any sect. Thus, truth cannot be spoon-fed, but one must hustle and look for it all by oneself. The best way to comprehend and identify truth is by looking inwards, because in each of us there dwells a consciousness or awareness known as the Chaitanya, which shall guide us to the truth. Just like a compass always points in the right direction, our consciousness guides us to the light, that is the truth. To awaken and empower one's Chaitanya, one must take to techniques such as yoga and meditation that shall heighten the faculties of the mind, as was done by C.W. Leadbeater. To seek truth, one must hustle. It is not an easy expedition. Thinkers, philosophers, and seekers of truth have time and again raised the flag against the popular opinion for truth. One such revolutionary was G.Bruno, who was persecuted time and again due to his principles, but nothing could swerve him. To quote him, they dispute not in order to find or even to seek truth, but for victory, and to appear the more learned and strenuous upholders of a contrary opinion. His desire for the world to look at the truth without any prejudice led him to be burnt at the stake, but it was the thought that lived on. He laid the foundation of the Theosophical thought way ahead of his times, which was brought to life by Madame Blavatsky, Colonel Olcott, and others. Such philosophical hustlers break the chain of dominant thought to give birth to an ideological revolution, which may or not have an immediate effect or impact the generations. On the other hand, Leadbeater became a disciple of Madame Blavatsky and attained the theosophical knowledge. He developed clairvoyance by walking on the path of theosophy to gather true knowledge. Therefore, Bruno and Leadbeater are divided by time and united in thought. Their writings guide us even in the contemporary times, like gurus guide us from darkness towards light. They were the constellations that lit up their own sky, but today are of same significance as they were yesterday. They lit the torch with their thought as the fuel, and we all must carry it forward with similar fervor. Let us pledge to uphold truth by forwarding the ideas of Bruno and Leadbeater and accept truth as the highest religion of all. With reference to this, the Mahabharata quotes, Rajan Satyam Param Brahma Satyam Cha Samaya Parah Matyakshi Samayam Rajan Satyam Sangat Mastute. Thank you.
You have left us all speechless. Thank you so much, Sister Shreeyashi. Despite of all the technical issues, you gave a wonderful speech. So let us move forward. And now the next program is the Adyar song, which will be presented by the members of KTS Varanasi. So I invite them all for the song.
Because they have their video to share.
एकाच भाषण सांगत नाही आमरा काही ना काही टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लेम.
Sir, it's not visible.
It's a recording you will have to play.
Yes, click on the play button.
Play button, where it is? Just.
It's in the bottom center.
The triangle.
Yes, inverted triangle.
Triangle is not visual.
Sir, it is visible. Just below the bar.
Midpoint 10, 30. It's showing 10 curve, then 30 curve. There's a mid triangle on the screen.
Yes.
Mid. Okay, just below there.
Just below, just
Yes,
below.
yes,
Just
yes,
come.
yes.
Come below, sir.
Or you can just push the space bar.
Sir, go to your desktop screen and play from there, please.
Desktop screen.
Yeah, then share it.
I have done that. Okay.
Then you can hit on the space bar.
Just hit the space bar.
No, not that, sir.
Space bar.
I'm not getting that.
On your keyboard.
Sir, can you make anyone?
No, nobody is available here.
Achha, this recording is not.
Sir, आपके कीबोर्ड पे एक बड़ा स्पेस बार है, उस पे क्लिक कीजिए.
आपके कीबोर्ड का स्पेस बार चौड़ा वाला पतला वाला उसको प्रेस करिए.
It is normally in the middle of the keyboard, sir.
That is not coming to me.
Okay, do one thing.
आपके लैपटॉप के कीबोर्ड में उसमें स्पेस बार पता है आपको? स्पेस बार उसको प्रेस करिए.
Correct.
Good.
Great. Sound is
There
gone.
is no audio. So there is no audio.
No audio, sister.
Someone has selected the scroll lines, sir. There are lines on the screen. Someone has selected the scroll.
Pradeep said there is no audio. I think there is no audio in the video only.
There is.
Back.
There is no audio.
It came in the end.
The audio was there, but in the middle, it just went away. If we can.
Okay, anyway, as Brother Dakshinamurti told us that sometimes technology also creates problem. So anyway, we will complete. Invite the Uma Bhattacharya to
Yes,
give
sir.
Bhuta.
Yes, sir. Well, one thing we have learned that though there are many hurdles, but when we have our spirits high and when we follow the path of truth, then no one can stop us. So let's proceed. And we couldn't hear the video, complete video, but till the portion I heard, it was so soothing a presentation. I would really like to hear it. So Pradeep, sir, please send it to me.
Okay.
Well, with this, we come to the closure of the celebration of the Adyar Day. So I request Sister Uma Bhattacharya, member of the EC section, Indian section TS, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Kritika. Good evening to all of you. And on this day, Adyar Day, I congratulate everyone for this pious occasion. And we have all gathered here and we celebrated the Adyar Day with great vigor. And we had very, very enlightened speakers on this occasion. We heard Sister Pooja Gole, Sister Shreeyashi Ojha, and Brother Dakshinamurti. Now, I found that the entire this program has been organized so well and conducted so well by Sister KRITIKA GOEL. And now the topic chosen, that is Theosophy and Truth, which has been presented by these three enlightened speakers in a very, very illustrious way. We could understand what is truth and how we could understand what we mean by truth with reference to theosophy, and in which we heard the contribution of Colonel Olcott, which was presented by Sister Pooja Gole, and then Sister Shreeyashi Ojha, she presented with reference to Brother Leadbeater, and Brother Krishnamurti, of course, his was with reference to J.Krishnamurti, and he very, very elaborately spoke about the truth with reference to religion, how we have said Satya Nasti Paro Dharma, and what is Dharma, and how truth, religion is related to the truth. So it was a very, very interesting and captivating meeting, and the celebration was very good. And then at the end of it, we heard our two singers from Kashi Tattva Sabha, Ms. Annapurna and Ms. Bharti. And of course, we could not hear the entire song, but they sang very well. So I thank them as well. So on behalf of Indian section, I would like to thank each one, including our brother Mahapatra, who has so enthusiastically, organized this function, for conducting this Adyar Day in such a colorful and captivating manner. I thank everyone on behalf of Indian section for such successful program. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So let us sit in meditation for a minute, and then we'll proceed towards the end. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashchit Dukh Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Om. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All the speakers. Thank you so much, Brother Gohil. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining and making this day such a auspicious day with your presence.
Thank you.
And I thank all the people who have joined from different countries. So let's meet tomorrow, I think, Brother Mahapatra.
Tomorrow there is a speech on question answer on Mahatmas, and I have given all the links. Anybody like to attend, kindly attend.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
brother.
thank you.
Thank you.
Special thanks to Kritika.
Thank
Special
you.
thanks to Kritika.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, very special thanks to Ritika and every
Yes.
young speaker who stood by the technical defaults also and gave us a nice time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sister. Thank you.
Presented very
Thank you,
beautiful
everybody.
today.
Thank you.
Love, peace, harmony, abundance to all.
Thank you, Kritika, conducting very nicely. Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
presence of mind, and you carried it very nicely.
Yes.
So my greetings and good wishes from Adyar for the whole Indian section and for all of you making this effort. Very much thank you. Adyar is Adyar. Adyar is like a sun, and all sections are like planets around it. So this center is radiating love and peace to whole world. So we need in the Adyar volunteers to work materially, mentally, spiritually, and this work is needed to be done wholeheartedly. we are losing many souls physically, but perhaps they have taken to the higher level for the higher work. And let us hope they are doing at the higher level and blessing us even on the Adyar day. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Kritika.
Thank you so much. I was saying that I am hoping to meet everybody very soon at the campus of Adyar.
Yes, yes. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Kritika. I am going to